This is my LSD trip report. Gonna talk about my experience with LSD, but why did I want to take LSD in the first place is more of the interesting question. Basically, I've been meditating for quite a few years, and I've had some interesting experiences with meditation alone without using any sort of psychedelic, but you get to that stage where you get a bit more curious and you understand when you're researching about DMT, magic mushrooms, LSD, truffles, Hawaiian baby wood rose seeds, like the power of the plants. I mean, the more you start studying this, you realise how Moses, when he spoke to the burning bush, the bush is made of acacia, which is rich in DMT, so you know that guy was pretty fucked up when he supposedly got the 10 Commandments from God. So why did I want to do LSD? Well, it's quite easy to get hold of. Acid isn't that dangerous to your brain. So my friend was able to get hold of some, so we decided to try this experience. So there were 400 milligram or micrograms. So it was quite strong tabs. This one was called, I think it's called Orange Sunshine. So we started off the night by taking these tabs, and within like 20 minutes we kind of were looking at each other and we were thinking, this stuff's crap, we've been ripped off or something. So the time carried on, 40 minutes, and then an hour goes past, and then suddenly we just start laughing. So we're laughing at everything. We were in tears. The laughter just gets very, very overwhelming, and this is obviously a sign that it's starting to work. Then the surrounding area, we was in this room, I'm doing this video, and the surrounding area started to break down. The things in front of us started to move really slowly. My friend thought the washing machine was talking to him, which was kind of hilarious. So the washing machine was talking, and then the floor was moving, and then when I was closing my eyes I was having images, and they weren't very strong to start off with, but it was just I was an image of going over a canyon. It was kind of, and I've had this before when I was meditating, it wasn't so much of the colours to start to in the beginning, but then we decided to crawl on the floor. And then suddenly the trip started getting a lot stronger, the visuals started coming a lot more, and it was very hard to make sense of what was really going on with the visuals. My friend was having a bit of a pervert trip, sounds kind of cool, but I was having more one to do with death. I kept seeing Roman times. A little bit to do with people being chained up and everything else. It was kind of a bit fucked. But then as it progressed onwards, it started to be more of the colours, everywhere in front of you, things were just breaking down in front of you. I remember crawling over to my fridge and opening the door and just staring at everything. Terence McKenna would say that LSD and psychedelics, they're barrier breakers. It breaks your barriers between you and your cat and you and your fridge, and it really did. It was kind of cool. So as it went on and on, we were just having the same sort of thing. We were just laughing, and then we got the idea that we wanted to go get some cheeseburgers. So we spent 3 hours talking to each other, we want to. What we're going to do, we're going to get some food. So then we're ringing up one of our friends, and then he was just decided he would fuck with us, and sent us a picture of a cat jumping out of a box. But it was a cat jumping out of a box, but he put a picture underneath of a cat jumping out of a box, so it was the cat was jumping out of a box but going back into the box, and that kind of fucked with our heads a little bit. You little fucker. So then what happened next was we decided that we wanted to go try and find some food, but it was a Sunday night, so everything was shut obviously. So we decided to take this experience outside, Now keeping in mind it was like 3:30 in the morning by this time, you know, so the trip was well and truly underway. So we come out of my flat and we were just staring at this like unit across the road from my flat, and there's writing on the unit, and the writing was just like breaking down in front of us, like everything was kind of moving. So we decided, you know, we're gonna walk. So we decided to walk, and then to explain what it was like when you're walking, it was just like you're in like a computer game, kind of hard to explain. It was very weird. Didn't feel like I was drunk. I felt just, it was like every footstep was like, it was like we're moving really fast, but we're moving really slow. Like, your like perception of like time just is gone. And then you know, it was like 3:30 in the morning, and there's this guy walking down the road in like a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and he was singing. I think he was singing Stevie Wonder or something. And I was fucking amazed. I started fucking tripping even more. So this guy was singing. We're looking at each other like, what the fuck's going on? Like, do you see this guy? And it was like he got quite far down the road, but as he was singing, it felt like he was like straight in front of us still. You know, it was like he was like in front of our face singing, but he was all the way up the hill by then. You know, so we were both pretty fucked up. And then I started getting cold and feeling really kind of strange. So like my friend decided that he was going to try an adventure for food. And I was like, dude, I've got to go back to the flat. I don't feel right. And so he disappeared, and I was walking back to my flat, and on the way there was this wall next to this sports centre, and I was staring at the wall, and I was just seeing like these shapes and everything like coming out of the wall. Like the wall was coming alive. You know, it was fucking intense. I was standing there for like a good 20 minutes. You know, they probably got the CCTV of some twat standing next to a wall like 4:30 in the morning, just like fucking zoned out. And then I got back to my flat, and then I was going to the toilet, so I decided to take a shit when I was tripping. And I had my t-shirt off at this point, and I was looking at my skin, and I could see like these like patterns. It was like a kind of strange coding all over my skin. It was very hard to explain. It was not like tribal, it was some other like, nothing I've really seen before. You know, it was like a weird coding of maybe what our skin is made of, or maybe it was my brain fucking with me. So after that, I wiped my ass. That was kind of a weird experience where you're on fucking acid. And my friend come back. Surprisingly, he didn't find any food. So by then, like, his trip was doing something different to what my trip was doing. Like, he decided that he just wanted to sit on the sofa and just listen to some Terence McKenna, which is, you know, awesome thing to do. But me, the crazy thing was I had work the next day, but not until the afternoon. So I was like, oh, I've got to try and sleep. But when you're on acid, you ain't gonna fucking sleep. So, you know, after we were finished talking with each other, it got to about 6 o'clock in the morning. So I decided to lay down in bed, and it wasn't happening. You know, I was just fucking, these visions are just like, it was, the images become really like weird. It was like stupid like 2D like clip art shit what you'd get from you know, like an old like Windows 98 computer. So I kind of, what the fuck is this all about? Then I decided to listen to some like meditational music to try and meditate, but I just felt like really strange in my body, like my breathing was kind of tight, and I just couldn't like loosen up to meditate. So I then decided to try and listen to some Terence McKenna myself. It wasn't working, so I put on some ayahuasca music, and there was this picture on the video, and I was staring at it, and then the picture was just like breaking down in front of me. All the colours were coming alive. So after I did this for like 15 minutes, it gave me an idea. So I went onto my phone, and I had some pictures I took previous that week out in nature. So I started staring at these pictures of like a river and some trees, and then these pictures were coming alive. It was like they were changing in front of my eyes. Like the whole picture, the season was changing in the picture. It was going back in time. Like the trees were like regrowing. Like the water was flowing. Like it become alive. It was like you know, everything is art and art is everything. You know, you really have a really big appreciation of art. And I'd love to go to like an art museum on acid. Not on acid, because that would be kind of fucking boring, but on acid it would be kind of trippy as fuck. So after I did this, I was like, fuck, now I need to try and sleep. Then that's when the weird shit started happening. I started hearing this weird like communication, like it's not really a good impression of it, keeping fuck it. But I didn't know a fucking clue what it was. You know, was it something trying to communicate with me? You know, I've had like sleep paralysis many times, and you know, I've had these weird feelings of having like a presence like floating above me before, but this was fucking something different. It was like something that was really trying to fucking communicate with me, but it could have just been as I'm changing frequency that, you know, I'm just hearing something on a different vibration. But and then they believe that a lot of like alien abductions is to do with when you change vibration. So a lot of people who have DMT experiences, when they experience, let's call them like the elves, like the elf people on the DMT. It's kind of a bit fucking crazy, but like waking up on a spaceship or some other weird shit, they try and connect this to do with psychedelics, because you know you are tripping on a different like universe, a different dimension. So then you start vibrating to another fucking dimension. So fuck knows what it was. You know, so eventually it got to about 20 to 8 in the morning when it started to wear off. Like I started becoming a bit back consciously, and by then my friend had disappeared. I don't know where the fuck he went. And so I was like, oh, I've got work soon. I've got to go to work. I've not slept. I've not had any sleep whatsoever. So I thought to myself, what should I do? You know, should I just like try and relax, try and sleep now? No, so what I did was I got up, I made some breakfast. I took like fucking 4 scoops of pre-workout. I went to the gym, I hadn't slept. And I was even, obviously I wasn't tripping, but I was still a little bit dazed in the gym. My eyes were still really fucking like big. And a few people kind of noticed that something was a bit different about me. And I went to work. And I was able to work my whole shift, no problem. I got a bit tired towards the end of the day, but I was just on a high for the whole day. I felt so good, felt so happy in myself, but it also brought many issues to the surface. Now, the thing with a psychedelic is it wants to teach you something. You know, this is what it does. It teaches you something about yourself. You know, so this experience, you know, I'd say I'd learned a lot from it. We then decided to do another LSD experience 2 weeks ago, just before Christmas. But the tabs, it wasn't as strong, because we got some more tabs, but we would try to store them somewhere. But these ones weren't as strong, so that trip wasn't really that awesome. You know, we had the laughing effect, and then we just ended up in McDonald's stuffing our face with cheeseburgers. So, you know, that trip isn't that exciting. But I'm going to be doing another video about the Hawaiian baby wood rose seeds, which I should be doing tomorrow night. So let's hope I can get that and not kill myself, and then upload that. Okay. Thanks for listening to my trip report of LSD. Hope you people enjoyed it. Just comment and like. Okay. Peace.